Hello everybody, this is Steffen Scheuermann, founder of the website TRADEATOMY.com. If you have any questions, I'm happy to hear from you at steffen@TRADEATOMY.com or visit the website and use one of the many ways to contact up there. This video is the presentation of the Payoff ruler and an indicator package for the TradeStation platform that I have designed and developed. The product consists of two indicators, namely the cash value range indicator and the payoff ruler. The cash value range is already on this chart of the Swiss francs future. It measures the bar ranges or the true ranges, depending on the input set, in cash of the respective underlying currency. It does also show a moving average of the cash value ranges. So it enables you to quickly assess a market's current volatility. For example, in the Swiss franc, we are around $500 per day, and this is pretty stable over the last few months. But we also see that in the beginning or end of last year, beginning of this year, there was a peak where the daily average came close to $1,000. So it also gives an insight how expensive a market is. You can also think of it as an ATR but measured in cash values. The payoff ruler indicator is integrated with the trend line drawing object of TradeStation. So let's put on a trend line here. As you can see, the indicator adopted the trend line and right away shows information about the start and end price of the trend line. So in this case, the entry would be somewhere here. We are in a long scenario. Our stop loss would be around 99.49, and this would be measured in dollar, a $3,025 move. The information can be shown on different locations on the chart. Right now we have it aligned with the trend line. You can also have it on the upper right corner of the chart or the lower right corner of the chart. So you can display it wherever it does not overlay other information on your chart and whatever feels comfortable for you. In order to delete the trend line, you can do this from the context menu by right-click it and then select delete. You can also hold the control key on the keyboard and left-click on the trend line. Usually, drawing objects that are managed by an indicator are not natively retained by the platform. This indicator, however, memorizes all the trend lines you have on the chart and keeps them across symbol changes or even platform restarts. As we have just seen, the indicator adopts every trend line that I draw on the chart. So when I designed the indicator, I thought of a way to not wildly take over any trend line that is on a chart or that is drawn on a chart. That led to two filter inputs that enables you to set up the indicator at your convenience. Let's open the inputs of the indicator and have a look how these filters work. There's two filters. One filter is for the color of the trend line and the other one is for the style. My setting now defines if there is a magenta colored trend line that is solid, then this is adopted by the indicator. Since this is my default setting for trend lines, it means that every trend line I draw on this chart is right away adopted by the indicator. In order to enable the usage of trend lines for drawing trend channels or different stuff on a chart, we could, for example, change our style filter to dashed. And what happens now is when I draw a new trend line here, it is not adopted by the indicator because it just doesn't fit the filters. But as soon as you change the style to dashed, on the very next click, the line is adopted by the indicator because now it fits the filter. And this can be done as we've just seen for the style of a trend line and the color. We turn off the indicator for a moment and we draw another trend line. As we have seen, my default setting is magenta lines that are solid. You could change that in the Format Trend Line dialog under the tab Style. You could change the color and also the style. And if you wish to have that as your default, so whenever you draw a new trend line, it appears like this, you can click this checkbox and every new drawn trend line is going to appear like this. Now, if we turn back on the indicator and we go back to my default setting, which adopts solid magenta trend lines, we see our old trend line that was there before, and now we have this trend line that was here before we activated the indicator. If you want to adopt this one too, but you draw it and the indicator was not inserted in the chart or it was not turned on yet, it does also adopt the trend lines that were already on the chart if they fit the style filter and the color filter, and you adopt them by just clicking on the line. As you have seen a little earlier, the color of the trend line is sometimes green, sometimes red. This is what I call the scenario, and it works like this. If you start from, let's say, here and you move to the right, this is what I call a long scenario. So obviously when you go up, that would be a positive price move, and if you go down, that would be a negative price move. The short scenario is exactly the opposite. So you start from, say, here the right, and you go to the left. So the profit target is lower than the entry, which means that would be a positive outcome of a trade. And if you go up and to the left, that would be a stop loss. This is also connected to the input automatic color. So this is the colors that you set here. Let's set cyan for the positive color, and from that moment on, positive measurements or trade setup outcomes are colored in cyan. And if you don't want automatic coloring at all, you can put in false here, and the trend line just stays your default settings or whatever, in whichever scenario you work with. In this case, you can also control the color of the text, and anyways you can set the font size and the text position. We just talked already about the text positioning and color of the text. Let's have a closer look to all the possibilities regarding the text position and its style. So we have worked with aligned text so far. We can also put it on the top right of the screen and change the font size. Now the text is always up here and updates for our payoff ruler. Now if you have more than one trend line on the chart, it always shows the value for the one you clicked on last. We turn on back the automatic coloring and put it on the bottom right, and we see that the color in this case always is determined also by the automatic color. Having the automatic color set to true overrides the text color input. Another feature of the payoff ruler is the theoretical live open profit and loss. And in order to use this functionality, you simply set the input show open PL to true. And from that moment on every of trend lines that would be drawn, you see a theoretical profit and loss. If you, in this case, in a long scenario, would have entered here on our entry level at 66.78, you would be down $3,900 now. It updates on every tick. The markets are about to close in 20 minutes, so if we are lucky, we maybe see 1 or 2 ticks now. In case you want to save computing power, I recommend you to turn off on the general tab of the format indicator the update where you enter a bar tick by tick. That way it will not update the price with every tick. It would only update it whenever you click on the line or you draw a new line, and also whenever a bar closes. Thank you very much for your interest in the Payoff Ruler package. If you want to try it out for yourself now, you can take a free trial in the Trading App Store. The link to get there you can find on TradeAtomy.com. Or if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at steffen@TradeAtomy.com. I hope the tool will simplify your trading, and I'm looking forward to hear your feedback.